So before I review this film, I just want to give a really quick shout out to these guys. One of the coolest things about going to a theater to see a movie are the people that you experience the film with. These guys were huge devoted A24 fans, and they showed up, and they were so much fun and the nicest people. And getting to experience a film together as a group is one of my favorite things about seeing films in theaters. So thank you, People Corns, for making Death of a Unicorn screening that much more fun. Death of a Unicorn is the directorial debut of Alex Scharfman, who also wrote the screenplay. The A24 film stars Paul Rudd as Elliot, a VP of ethics, essentially, for a very prominent pharmaceutical company. Elliot and his daughter Ridley, played by Jenna Ortega, travel to a wilderness retreat of a wealthy pharmaceutical CEO, Odell, played by Richard E. Grant, along with Belinda, his wife, played by Leoni, and his son Shepard, played by Will Poulter. On the way to the retreat, Elliot hits a baby unicorn in the wilderness with his car, wounding it, and in a panic tries to finish the job with a tire iron. Elliot and Ridley bring the unicorn back to the retreat home, where they realize that the unicorn's blood has healing properties. When the family who owns and controls Big Farm realize this, they obviously want to profit on this find, but have one major problem: a killer unicorn out for revenge. I thought the idea for this film was a really interesting one, and there are a lot of people out there who are truly fascinated by unicorns and the mythology about the unicorn in general. So I didn't think it was a bad idea. The film does a really great job including some of that real mythology, bringing the unicorn tapestries made in the South Netherlands to give some background to the creature and build the story. The film does have a problem with explaining too much, though. The first 10 minutes of the film is mostly exposition given by Paul Rudd and Jenna Ortega in the car ride to the retreat, explaining their relationship to each other, where they are going and why their relationship is strained. And as soon as all that's out of the way, they hit the unicorn. And you think this film is about to rev up. But nah. They get to the retreat where there is more exposition about who the family is and to show us how they are terrible human beings who only care about making more and more and more money, and how the CEO of the company is dying. And when you find that out, and that the unicorn's blood has the healing properties and the horn, you realize pretty soon where this is going. It's pretty obvious. The story that's been told hundreds of times, the divide between the wealthy and the not, or the division of classes and the things we will do and choices we make morally to make money, that is sort of the obvious storyline here. What will man destroy to get ahead, even if what's being destroyed is pure and innocent? It's a topic that has been told in so many ways, and if you don't tell it the right way, it's uninteresting and boring. Because again, we've heard this moral tale told before. And does it need to be told again? Sure, because, people are terrible. The writing is, sad to say, pretty weak in my opinion. With a cast as great as this, you'd think that you'd bring some great lines that are worthy of these actors. Paul Rudd, who is great at delivering great lines and who is a master at improvising some hilarious dialogue, isn't given a lot of work here.
Stop treating me like a child.
He and Ortega are the focus in the beginning, but he ends up in the background for most of the rest of the film, giving him obvious one-liners throughout just so we don't forget that he's there. Same with Anthony Carrigan, who plays Griff, the servant for the wealthy family. Carrigan was unforgettable in the TV series Barry.
They open mail. Bullet. What? Phone rings. Hello? Paco's dead? What?
And was incredibly fun to watch. But in this film, they really didn't utilize his talent. He has the skill to deliver some amazing dark comedy acting, but doesn't really get the opportunity here to shine. The film seems like it's paying tribute to films like 2001, Jurassic Park, E.T., and what seems to me very obviously references to the Alien franchise. Ortega's name is Ridley in the film. Different spelling, but same, one letter off. And this scene reminds me of the iconic scene in Alien 3 of Ridley and the Xenomorph. If you think that's a stretch, just watch the film. There are other references to aliens, which is fine, by the way. I like the satire of it all, and it could have worked better if the writing worked. I just didn't know at times what this movie was trying to be. The connection between father and daughter wasn't really established in a way that makes the heartwarming ending, well, heartwarming. Again, attributed to poor writing. The payoff at the end of the third act didn't pay off. The setup for the payoff was really weak, and that's really unfortunate because it could have worked really, really well if it was done right. The one saving grace was Will Poulter as Shepard. He has some great scenes, and he gives this character his all. You can tell that he's having the most fun in this role, and he gives it the humor this dark comedy needed. From his collection of short, preppy shorts and swim shorts,
I don't think I should be in swim shorts for this moment.
to his quirky, over-the-top portrayal of the rich cliché son, it really works and works well. I had a lot of fun watching his performance on screen. I also enjoyed Leoni. I don't think she's been in a film in like 14 years, and it was great to see her back again, and she also gives a really fun performance. She works so well with Poulter and their scenes together, and again, brought much-needed comedy to this film, when most of the comedy falls so flat in the writing. The film takes a while to get to the real action revenge of the unicorn. The film really drags in the middle and really needed to be edited down a bit. It takes a lot of time explaining unicorns more than it does developing the main characters so that we care about what these main characters are going through. The film is missing the intelligence of a film like Heretic or the animal action of Cocaine Bear, the suspense of aliens, and the dark humor that you'd see in Tucker and Dale vs. Evil, Shaun of the Dead, or even the recently horror comedy Hard Eyes. I felt like this film was having a hard time committing to a genre at times. The CGI of the unicorn is what you would expect. I feel like we saw too much of the unicorn too early, taking away from some of the scenes that should have been scary. It needed some unicorn in the shadow moments before we see it to make those scary scenes effective, the way Spielberg is famous for in Jaws. Death of a Unicorn misses a lot of marks with unfunny comedy, bad writing, and not utilizing these amazing actors that you may only get to work with altogether once in a lifetime as a director. There's some fun performances by Leoni and Poulter, but unfortunately it isn't enough to save this movie. It's an average movie based on a really cool idea that was just executed poorly. I'm giving Death of a Unicorn 2 stars for 2 great performances, and it kills me because I love Paul Rudd. He deserves so much better.
Oh, no, really, it's okay.
The film is rated R for violence and some strong language at times and some drug use, sort of. If you've seen Death of a Unicorn, let me know in the comments. I love talking to you about all things movies. Like and subscribe if you enjoy my take on these films. And thank you so much for watching. I do this because I love watching movies in full theaters with you. So don't wait till it streams. Let's go to the theater and let's see it together.
I friggin' love you!
I friggin' love you back!
Help yourself, take a few. That's what I want you to do.
The most glorious rainbow ever!